You can tell I do this a lot, huh? All right, so you need to backwash this filter once a month, and it needs to be taken apart once a year. I usually recommend getting the filter taken apart and cleaned right after all the pollen is falling out of the trees. You got a lot of pine trees around here. That pine pollen is horrible for swimming pools. All that yellow gets across the swimming pool. All that yellow ends up inside of this filter and it clogs it up. So once it's all done, you clean it out. It's also getting it ready for the swimming season. So you're ready to, everything's nice and clean and you're ready to go. You know you're not gonna have a bunch of algae problems because you have a clogged up filter. So once a month, backwash it. Once a year, take it apart and clean it. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, I understand, but if you've never taken one of these apart and cleaned it, don't try to do it yourself the first time. Watch somebody do it. It's like putting a puzzle together, and there's one piece of that puzzle that's different than all the rest of the pieces, and if you don't put it in exactly the right spot, you're not getting this filter back together. I've watched men do it, and they'll spend a 12-pack of beer on a Saturday trying to put it together, and I'll be out there on Monday putting it back together for them. So, just a warning.
So do y'all do that, or do
Yeah.
we find someone to do
No,
that?
you can call us up. We charge about, it usually ends up being about $90 after it's all said and done for us to come out and do it.
Okay.
It also gets our eyes on your equipment, and if we see anything bad, then we can tell you about it.
Okay.
So, it's like having your yearly air conditioner check or whatever. So, a couple of rules on backwashing. Don't ever touch this black handle while the pump is running. Always go in a clockwise motion and never back up. Okay? So we're going to backwash now. So I push the handle down, spin it 180 degrees until we get to backwash. Then I'll hit number 4 and the start button. Whoops, number 4, start. By the way, we want to be in service mode when we're doing this. Now once it starts up, you're going to watch this sight glass right here, and it's fixing to get really, really dirty. And that dripping a little bit of water, just let it drip, because all it's doing is running around the corner to your P-trap. That pipe that's coming up and you turn it on that back down. But if you let it leak, it's easier to get that glass off there a little while. If you tighten it up to where it's not leaking any, you're almost needing a pair of pliers to get that glass off of there every time. But you can see how dirty it was. I mean, it was like chocolate milk. And we'll run it until we can see through it a little bit. And again, this can take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Just the first step. No. I wish. So when you can see your finger pretty good underneath the sight glass, you've gotten it clean for the first round. Turn the system off, push the handle down, and we want to spin it here to rinse. Then we want to hit number 4, start button. Once the pump takes off, we want to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it off, push it down, go all the way back around the backwash. Now you know why I said don't back up and go in the clockwise motion. Everybody thinks it's quicker to go back to backwash, but if you keep that gasket going in the same direction, it'll make it last longer. So again, you can see how it's getting a little dirty. Not as dirty as it did the first time, but still a little bit dirty. So what we're doing is we're backwash and rinsing over and over again until we put it in backwash and that sight glass doesn't get dirty anymore. Every time we go into rinse, it agitates the inside of this filter and breaks anything else that's in there loose. And then the backwash just cleans it off. So that went pretty quick. Turn it off. We're going to do it go through one more round of this after we do it this time. Usually about 3 times is good enough. Maybe whenever you're getting close to the end of the year, then 4 or 5 times may be necessary. 9, 10. Backwash, 4, start. And see, it didn't get dirty that time. So if it's not getting dirty, shut it off, turn it all the way back around to filter mode.
What's all the rest of that? So
That's where we're fixing to go next. So before we turn the pump back on, let's talk about the rest of it. Waste. If you put it on waste, it's going to pump the water in and it's going to pump it out to the sewer. So that's how you would drain your swimming pool, is by putting it on waste. Closed, that's for up north when they shut their pools down for the winter. We don't ever shut our pools down here. And then recirculate. If something happens to this filter, you reach up here and grab this gauge and knock it off. You got a geyser shooting 80 feet in the air. Then you can put it on recirculate and it'll pump the water in and it'll bypass the filter and it'll pump it right back to the swimming pool. That way you can at least keep it circulated and chlorinated until you can get the filter fixed.
Okay.
But that's about the only reason I can think for the recirculate.
Sweet. It's easy enough.
So we're in filter mode. Before I turn it, my hands are too slow. There we go. Unscrew it, and then I'll clean it and dry it out. Because if you leave the water in here, it'll turn to algae within that month's period of time before you do the backwash again. And so when you go into backwash mode, you won't be able to see what you're doing out of this glass. That's why I said put it on there just a little bit, let the thing spray water, but you know, you can unscrew it if you need to. So now, we're back in filter mode. We want to hit the number 4 button. We want to hit the start button, and we want to immediately go to the nearest skimmer, and we want to put DE powder in. That's what's in this white bag powder, or white bag. This is the most important part of the backwashing procedure.